This is Ryan Blankers from Best Face Forward. Today I'm making a video for my good friend. Let us call him Rick. And Rick has a bit of an issue. Rick has an anterior pelvic tilt. So what an anterior pelvic tilt is it basically means that you have a muscle imbalance. And any muscle imbalance will cause a distortion in your posture. In this particular case, it's a distortion in your lower body posture. So what he has is a situation where it looks like his butt is literally sticking out. We call it Donald Duck butt. And basically he has a very excessive curve in his low back, if you can imagine. His butt sticks out and his gut sticks out. So this is not a very appealing look. Now, in terms of face posture and tongue posture and really your whole body, your lower body is very important because everything is connected. If you could think of it like a building, or like you've ever played Jenga with the blocks, if you begin to pull one side one direction, the other side will be affected and be pulled in the other direction, and you'll have distortions. So what's happening is his lower body is set off put with his butt sticking out, and because of that change in his spine, his upper body is beginning to compensate and he has rounded shoulders. Very, very important to fix this, because if your upper body is not in a good position, it's harder for your tongue to push up, and it'll actually affect the way your face looks. Not to mention that my friend is having back pain because of this issue. There are essentially 4 muscles that mainly insert onto your pelvis that are important for this discussion. One of them, firstly, is your hip flexors and your quads here, the front of your legs. These muscles are tight. Then you have your glutes here that are weak, and your hamstrings, which are weak. So what that produces is a tilt. These muscles are tight, these muscles are weak. It produces a tilt, which causes your low back and your butt to stick out. Okay? So we need to stretch these muscles, we need to strengthen these muscles. Okay, now here is an example of myself quite a while ago when I had this issue. Now you can see that I'm actually pretty skinny in this photo. However, my stomach does look like it's sticking out, and there is a large curve in my low back and then in my upper back as well. So I've put the diagram there to show you which muscles are tight and weak for our purposes so we can then correct it. All right, here we go. First stretch, foot up, hip flexor. Now, I would say this is easily the most important stretch that you can do for your lower body. Because as I've said before, your hip flexors are the thing that tends to get the most tight. This is also stretching out your quads. And the thing that's good about this stretch is that it is extremely easy to do. You can do it while you're watching TV. You can do it on your couch. The key is you want to suck your stomach in, squeeze your glute. All right, now, the next important piece is strengthening. So we've loosened up the muscles that are inhibiting our pelvis from being in the proper position. Now we need to focus on strengthening the correct muscles, which are, again, your abs, your transverse abdominis, particularly your lower ab area, and your glutes and hamstrings. We want to focus on not the superficial muscles of our abs, which is your six-pack, what you see, and the muscles that are, very aesthetically pleasing, but we want to focus on the transverse abdominis, which is the muscle that is actually below the sheet of muscle that people think is their abs, and the effect that it has is essentially pulling your stomach in. We have the glute bridge to strengthen your hamstrings and your glutes. You might get a funny look in the gym for doing this. Let's be honest, who cares? You're doing it to better yourself. But you can also do it at home. So there's a simple solution. You're gonna lie on the ground, place your feet hip width apart is fine. Lie down, and then you're gonna use your glutes and your hamstrings while pulling your stomach in to elevate off the ground like so. Very simple. Keep your glutes tight. And when you do this, it may be difficult to get your glutes to fire because they've been inactive for so long. That's why you should stretch first, which will then allow your glutes to be able to fire so you can practice doing this. Now you need to practice squeezing your glutes, flexing your hamstrings. feeling how that feels. And those two actions of your hips lengthening, your glutes shortening will help to correct that pelvic tilt. Now, the second exercise we're gonna do is a simple plank. However, when you plank, it's important to focus on what I said earlier with your transverse abdominis. So that's squeezing your glutes and pulling your stomach in, okay? So what you wanna see when you do a plank is you wanna make sure that your stomach is pulling upwards and that you squeeze your glutes. So you're gonna be doing planks, you're gonna be doing glute bridges along with the stretches. Now the stretches alone will have a fantastic effect. But yeah, that's all you guys need. And you're laughing. This is the program you are gonna do every day. You're gonna start with the stretching 3 times 1 minute per side, the hip couch stretch I said earlier. Now that's gonna make a huge difference in itself. Then you need to learn how to activate your glutes and your abs using the glute bridge and the plank hold. If you do this every day, I promise you, you will see results fast.